Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, and this is Daily Flash. Hello, everybody. We got today's trends, tomorrow's talking, of course, an hour packed full of great stuff. And you are a big part of it. James Alexander, tell them how they can be a part of it.
Hey, man, by answering the question of the day, are you ready? Here we go. If you had to pick one song, movie, or TV show as the anthem of 2025 so far, what would it be and why? So I need all your comments, and guess what? The man to tell you where to go is Matt Doolittle.
You can head over to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Send us your notes at flash@dailyflashshow.com. Like, subscribe, share. You can post your comments on all of our social accounts out there. I'm just going, we didn't start the fire by Billy Joel, because why not?
Go every year with that, right?
Just burn it down.
Agreed. All right. We love hearing from you. Thank you, James. Thank you, Matt, here. And, of course, with today's trends and tomorrow's talk, we got more of it.
Okay, listen to this story. I want to get your guys' feedback because I think this will get you going. An Ohio brewery sparked strong reaction when it announced they would start barring kids from entering the pub after 7 p.m. The Eastside Brewing Company said their post attracted hundreds of comments. Some were even threats from customers who disagreed with their decision. Let me read you just a couple of lines in here.
Okay.
The owner says, although things have been going very well for us, there is one sore spot that seems to come back again and again: unsupervised children. It's not that we don't like kids. We manufacture alcohol. He goes on to say, then there's a small group of adults who called me several names. Many of these parents are the ones who sit inside the tap room drinking beer while they let their kids go outside to play. There are kickballs, frisbees to dodge. Some kids like to dig up rocks in the beer garden, create hazards for our adult guests to trip over. They antagonize our neighbors' dogs through the fence. Our patio swing had to be taken down as it was confused with an amusement park ride. The bolts nearly fell out. The ping pong table is broken, and we rarely put cornhole out as the bags end up on the roof.
All right, so I'm fully supportive of this. However, we can't blame everything on the kids breaking, because I've seen adults, and you do have alcohol around here, so keep that in mind. But I think it's 100%. And they're saying you're welcome to come by during the day. This isn't really a place for kids after 7 o'clock. Is really what they're saying. And
It's a bar.
Why would they? Why would you have a? And if I know that, I'll probably go there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, I don't frequent, the pubs or whatever, but at least I know I don't have to deal with that sort of thing. And they blew it. The kids blew it. Look what you did. No one can enjoy it.
It only takes one.
It takes one. You wind up breaking something. This is very. I'm glad you brought this up, because a dentist is taking a lot of heat because they sent an email to one of their clients or their patients and said, "Hey, They started off saying, "Hey, we love having you here. However, when you have your kids, can you please maybe either have somebody supervise them or not bring them?" And she took offense to it altogether.
Boy.
But if you think about that there are people in the waiting room that are going through. No one likes being at the dentist, and there's a lot of stress there. So if we take that mentality, saying, "Look, why aren't you watching your kids?"
Yes.
And if they're messing things up, kids just don't need to be at pubs after 7 o'clock. I'm sorry. Let's just say it.
Right. Matt, you ready to chime in?
How many times have we advocated for an airline that has no kids on it as well?
Or a kids section.
There's some places, if you don't have kids, they're not your problem. You just don't want to go there, because what's that thing? I mean, Mitch, you as a parent know that, where sometimes you just zone out and don't understand that they're going nuts.
You don't realize it, how loud they get, and you realize that, you don't realize, rather, that it's annoying other people. Trust me, if you think they're annoying, they are.
They're comfortable with the chaos.
James's kids are always they're always fun, right? And they're kids. We respect that, but
Yeah.
They are kids, but I can tell you this. I want to agree with you, Mitch. A brewery, and Andrea, a brewery is not a place for kids to be at any time, okay? I don't care if it's at, they get kicked out after 7 p.m. There's no possible way, or no reason, I should say, any parent should be taking their kids to a bar.
And
unless you're trying to make the kids go to sleep a little early by giving them a little taste of your pint. Some parents do that.
And let's hopefully they have their own fake ID when they go in there.
And
Let's
their
hope
own,
the kids do.
and their own sippy cup.
And and it's the parents making these decisions to take there, because you ask any kid, hey, can we go? What's the name? Can we go to Eastside Brewing? Uncle Sully the drunk is there. Can we go talk to him? They're not wanting that. These are parents making this decision.
No, there are a couple of things at play here. It's a local neighborhood hotspot. Some people like to go there after they pick up their kids from school as a place to kind of meet and get together. I get that. But again, you're letting your kids out into an unsupervised area while you sit in and have a couple of beers. Your kids are tearing up the entire back patio area.
Your motivation to be a parent,
Yes.
it weakens as many alcohols you have. Look at
Right.
It's kind of what we do with Matt, kind of. We're like, hey, Matt, watch it.
It depends on the evening. It goes back and forth here.
You can tolerate the chaos after a couple of brewskis. I just think it's really irresponsible. And there's a sense of entitlement, too, I think, with some parents, that they expect everyone to cater to their family, their needs, their kids, and their kids come first. And if you don't like it, well, that's too bad. I have every right to be here. You do, but it's also a business that has every right to say no kids after 7 p.m.
But even on cruise ships, they have adult-only areas. On Disney Cruise Lines, they have an 18 and up area.
So what happens if the kids wander into those
They
areas?
tell them to go home. They kick them out.
Are they really strict
I
about
say
this?
you do this. You go, listen, all right, okay, you bring in your kids, okay. If they start messing with stuff and they're acting like you're talking about, we're taking their picture and we're putting them up on the wall. People will quit taking their kids there. It's like, look, you're welcome. Just know I'm going to take the picture.
You're going to perp walk a kid?
Yes, I'm going to shame them. I'm going to shame them to death, because kids shouldn't be acting this way.
What about a cover charge for kids?
It's kids' night. Paying extra. You know what? That's okay. If you have an attendant out there, it's like, hey, we have to pay for somebody to make sure your kid doesn't break this.
Right.
Have a cover charge. All right, I'm fine with that. Find some ways, if you're that desperate to make sure your kids are drinking with you, because really that's all they're doing.
Yeah.
And if your kid's driving you need your kid there to drive you home, you've got a major issue.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, who's driving home?
When your 3-year-old's got to take you home and they got to put blocks on their feet to get to the pedals.
Yeah. I love you, buddy. I love you, man.
I love you.
All right, Dad.
This also plays into this whole sense of a lack of cooperation. Like, people seem to refuse to cooperate. Like, it's my life, it's my world, I'm going to do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. And forget the business, who cares? Like this guy said, I've been called every name in the book because I've asked people to respect the fact that we're a pub that serves alcohol and it's not the best place for kids.
And let's say, well, I don't want kids there, so you can use me as the example. All right, well, I know that place has kids. I'm not going to go. So now he's losing money.
Yes, that's a great point.
If you're known as that, as much as that he had to do this, they obviously, people are not wanting to be around this. And that's, by the way, you go to the bar to get away from your kids.
Isn't that the whole point of going to the bar? Is to forget your life?
Yeah. Why would you want that reminder, that mistake you made 20 years or 10 years ago, running around out there? Because that's probably where you met
It's not a McDonald's playland.
It is not.
Is that what we've kind of...
Perfect idea. I'm not allowed to go in the play area.
Right.
Here we go. Right?
Yes, you're not.
Why are we talking about this? This is actually right.
Because somebody would say, are you supposed to be 15 feet away from children?
That's probably
I would rather the pubs were allowing like animals in, like dog pubs and everything, rather than kids.
Yeah.
Which I think is a great idea altogether. And there are more and more bars coming up where they're encouraged.
dog-friendly.
It's a dog. It's actually they call it a dog bar where you do that sort of thing. So you can't. This is one of those. You're not sitting on the fence. If you did, your kids are probably doing it and breaking the law.
Or destroying the fence.
So we have got to hear from you on this. Flash at dailyflashshow.com. Am I wayward? Am I that old man English that doesn't want the kids around? Or do you agree? Let us know.
Would you go to the pub knowing that there are kids?
No.
Or would you not go to the pub? I think that's a great question.
I always say, I did my time with my 4 kids.
Yes, you
they're
did.
all 25. My youngest is 25 years old now. And now I have a 14-year-old. But he's cool. He doesn't want to go to those things.
Yeah.
And he's also a kid that can talk to adults, which I totally appreciate. My kids were, I think, my fault, but Enzo can talk to anybody, which I always appreciate.
Which is very nice. Yeah.
I like that. All right.
Yeah.
Again, our website is our email is flash@dailyflashshow.com.
Yep.
On social media, James is always answering some of your
Yes.
questions, so get on there now.
And our question of the day. What song would you use for 2025?
It would have to be some kind of country song by Jelly Roll, about making mistakes. Right? Every song is by
You know what song I love is that song on the Starbucks commercial that is promoting the pumpkin spice latte. I can't think
I'll
of the
have
name
to
of
think.
it.
I'll have to watch it.
It's so good. It's very catchy.
We're talking about parents, and ironically, talking about having your kids, making them feel seen, okay? Which is kind of ironic, right? But not at a pub, right? We got our parenting expert coming up. That's right after this. Stick around. You're watching Daily Flash.
This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English here. And by the way, the song, the Starbucks song Andrea was talking about, You Make Me Feel. That's what it is. It's time for our parenthood, and many kids struggle with feeling kind of overlooked at school and friends groups, believe it or not, even at home. So joining us right now is parenting expert, my favorite, Catherine Sellery. She's got some advice on how children feel seen and valued. Catherine, welcome back to Daily Flash. Always love having you on.
So nice to be here, Mitch. Great to see you again.
You're talking to a middle child, so I think that's all I need to say here about who needs to be seen and what career they follow because of that, right? But let's talk about why a kid, Catherine, what actually makes them feel like they're invisible.
Sure.
What is that all about?
So many things can affect a child feeling invisible, and they can act out that sense of sadness inside by withdrawing, not because they're difficult, but because they feel disconnected. So when their emotions are dismissed or overlooked or misunderstood, they interpret it as, I don't matter. Parents can begin to shift this dynamic by recognizing signals behind the behavior: eye rolls, silence, resistance. Those are signals. And if we don't judge them and we respond with curiosity and empathy, then when parents meet those behaviors with understanding rather than punishment or judgment, kids begin to feel safe enough to unpack it and open up again.
Makes complete sense. And, it seems like your entire life, you always go inward to try to find certain things. And at such a young age, they don't know how to handle all that. But you get three tips that's going to help every parent. And actually, we can turn out some great kids this way. You say, first off, is the power of validation. And what does that mean? What's the realm of that validation? What do you mean? That yes, what you're feeling is okay?
Sure. No, validation doesn't mean agreement.
Okay.
But it is the simplest, powerful way to build a child's sense of worth. When parents can just reflect back the feelings that they see the child showing us with empathy, like, wow, that sounds really hard, or I can see why you'd feel that way. It tells them that the emotions make sense.
Right.
So we're validating what they're experiencing. It doesn't mean we agree with it, but it does mean we acknowledge that they're going through it. And when kids feel heard, seen, understood from their perspective, the stress lowers, cooperation increases, and they develop more emotional confidence that lasts a lifetime.
And your next tip, I want you to go a little bit more detail to explain exactly what you mean, because it seems like when you say giving kids a voice, does that mean just like, okay, they're allowed to voice their opinion? What?
Well, I think what we're trying to say is that we're giving them a place on the stage. It's not just adults only here. It's that, children can be seen, heard, and understood from their perspective. Children are people too. So children thrive when their opinions are valued. So just creating small, regular opportunities for them to share their thoughts, like weekly family check-ins or daily problem solving together, it builds confidence, mutual respect. You can ask questions like, well, what do you think would work? Or how would you like to handle this? It teaches them collaboration over compliance. So when kids feel that their voice matters, they become more cooperative, more capable, more connected. They're also more invested in the plans that they craft, more so than anybody else's plan that's crafted for them.
No, that makes sense. No, it does, because, objective management is like, this is what I want. I trust that you'll find the best route between A and B, and with those kids, I can wholeheartedly with that. Is there a way that we can let them know that they're getting that voice without making them think, all right, you have the stage now? You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you're in a family meeting.
It has to be natural.
Yeah.
Bake it in, Mitch. Make it a part of the family system. So the first thing is you have to have the connection. So too often parents are focusing on fixing behavior instead of understanding the underlying unmet needs beneath the behaviors. So we have to shift away from the judgment of the presenting problem, shift away from correcting the behavior that presents, to first reaching for connection. It helps kids internalize a far more powerful message of, we love you, right? And then they feel, gosh, I'm lovable even when I make mistakes. So slowing down, listening, responding with empathy, it transforms the entire dynamic in tense moments into opportunities for closeness. And when parents choose the relationship over just reacting to a presenting problem behavior, kids feel secure to grow, to communicate, thrive, to make mistakes.
I'm going to go back to my middle child, 11-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever. I go, well, mom's not going to get mad at me. She's going to tell me, oh, I'm connected. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Because the kids will realize, or is there a certain way that you need to, confront this? They know that what they did was wrong and that sort of thing. There has to be punishment. I always feel like there should be responsibility to take it for anything they do wrong.
It's so good. I love the way that you're opening this up. So first of all, I think kids already know when they've made mistakes. I think that they know in their heart that, I really screwed up. Yeah. And I think they screw up, and what they really need to know is, mom and dad love me warts and all. That doesn't mean that they're okay with all of my behaviors, because I'm not okay with all of my behaviors. But the bottom line is that behaviors arise because I don't know how to deal with my underlying unmet needs. And if we focus on dealing with the underlying unmet needs and providing children with more emotional resilience, the capacity to name it, to tame it, and also the trust that we've built in the relationship that they can bring their problems to mom and dad, then they don't have to worry about, I can't tell them things if I'm not perfect, because we haven't gone down that terrible road of thinking that we have to have a perfect family, and our kids then are constantly going to be struggling because I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, they're not perfect. It's an impossible standard.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Catherine. For more details, visit freeparentingbook.com.
Something funny is going on, and it's happening every morning on Broadway and Friends on great radio stations all across the U.S. of A. Broadway, T-Wall, Mitch Pancake English, and Sweet Becca. Broadway and Friends, 4 mics, 0 filters, and more opinions than your Aunt Cheryl's Facebook feed. Broadway and Friends. Want to join the madness? Hit up BroadwayandFriends.com.
Spell out the word
and jump into the deep end, blasting for the back road to the big leagues. Broadway and Friends. The most fun you can have with your radio on.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English here. It's time for us to check in with Tony Toscano to find out what's coming out of Hollywood and straight to your screen, no matter what size you're going to watch it on. With the latest, here's Tony.
Thanks, Mitch. In selected theaters now is the family feature film, Grow.
This is my niece.
What?
What is it with this place and pumpkins?
Ready for the contest?
I'm going to win. My dad's entering the contest too.
You got much of a team?
I'm working on it.
That ain't mine, is it?
We snogged once at a school disco.
But what a snogger.
She's entering the pumpkin contest, wanted a few tips.
This ain't some grow your own salad school project. This is all out vegetable warfare.
This is an exuberant tale full of giant pumpkins, madcap characters, and a little girl who just might be a pumpkin-growing savant. I chatted with actor Jeremy Swift about the film.
Yeah, of course it's about growing relationships as much as it is growing vegetables in the show. So yeah, it's a great one for the family. Really, really, it's an alternative to the scary stuff that we get at this season, you know, for teenagers and fright stuff. It's none of that. It's a proper heartfelt movie that you can take young kids to.
Set in some beautiful locations around Scotland, Grow is a delightful family film about growing friendships and the importance of community. Again, you can catch it in theaters now. It gets an A and is rated PG. Also in selected theaters is the new comedy Good Fortune. It stars Keanu Reeves, Seth Rogen, and Aziz Ansari, who also wrote and directed the film.
You wanted to have wealth and success?
Now look at you.
Jeff's life is now your life.
What happened to Jeff?
Is there any update on the Huevos Rancheros for Alex?
He has your life.
Gabriel, why did you do this?
I tried to show him that wealth wouldn't solve all his problems.
And?
It seems to have solved most of his problems.
I mean, look, I hope they go with their friends and they laugh and they have a great time and it's a break from everything going on in the world to just be in the movie theater with a bunch of people in a dark room laughing and just having a joyful night out.
Good Fortune is a wildly funny and touching comedy well worth your time to see. Keanu Reeves' performance as an angel is well worth the ticket price alone. Again, Good Fortune is playing in selected theaters now and gets an A. It's rated R. For the Daily Flash, I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
Time for some trending stories now. And just in case we weren't becoming overly reliant on Google Maps, a tourist fell into a canal in Venice, Italy after she says the navigation app took her the wrong way. The clip shows the traveler walking down the stairs while she was on her phone. Then she slips and falls into a canal like something out of a movie. Many viewers posted comments ridiculing her misstep. Meanwhile, Venice tour sites have noted that Google Maps is unreliable in the floating city for a variety of reasons.
It's just so weird that somebody happened to be videotaping, or not videotaping, but recording her while she did that.
Yes.
That silly girl just happened to follow the map. Come on, use some common sense.
Oh, and she's crying.
You know when that was funny was when The Office did it. What was it, 15, 20 years ago? That was hilarious. I love it.
And even before that, the Three Stooges.
Three Stooges did it for the fall. Need somebody to poke
and she didn't see the water.
Well, yeah, had no idea with the water.
Yeah.
And she's wearing glasses, and then
ballet slippers and
the word influencer, folks, don't just know nothing is
overrated.
Overrated. Well, we'll move on now to some other trending news stories happening in and around the world. We talk about Cardi B. She actually has a message to her fans about her latest album. She says, "I'm sorry." Cardi was actually live on Instagram talking about a friend looking for an apartment in New York City. She suggested that she find a place in the Bronx and assumed that it would actually be less expensive. She was actually shocked to find out just how pricey rents have become. She then went on to actually apologize to her fans for asking them to buy her latest album because, well, the cost of living has been pretty tough over the last couple of years. So she says, I'm sorry. She didn't say she'd lower the price, which I don't think she had anything to do, but...
Is she that completely out of touch? I mean, you don't have to live in New York City to know that the rents are ridiculously expensive for what is basically the size of a single closet.
I think Kim Kardashian, we talked about this last week, she didn't know how much milk costs. So there is a point, I would imagine, you get to a point, it's to a point where you don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And, maybe you should care and at least know what your fans are, how much they love you. They're paying a lot of money just to see you and hear you.
Don't be a phony baloney and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you couldn't afford my album." Well, then give it away.
I don't see you giving it away.
Right?
All right. We are giving this show away for free, though. We love you.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Let's check in with Matt Doolittle about our stations across the nation. Hey, Matty.
Hello. Yes, our 219 beautiful affiliates all across this great land and the Armed Forces Network who are seeing us all over the world. You can head to our website, dailyflashshow.com, click on where to watch, and then you can share that with your friends. Today, we are going to WHCQ in Greenwood, Georgia.
Ooh, Greenwood.
Greenwood.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Greenwood, for watching and being part of the Daily Flash Nation. We deeply appreciate it. And again, as mentioned, we are still rocking and rolling, moving our way through. More and more, we hear about AI. What is AI doing for us as humans? Making us lazier, or is it helping us? They had some research out from OpenAI, and it says, this is kind of alarming, 1.2 million users of ChatGPT each week are chatting with the AI in ways that kind of show potential suicide intent or planning. Meaning they're going to the your ChatGPT or your AI and asking questions about, hey, I'm depressed, I'm doing this and that sort of thing. And you go, all right, well, what can how can that help me?
ChatGPT help you, right?
I'm going to go into detail more about this later on in the show. At the end of the show, I'll tell you the whole story because I don't have time right now. But I was going through something, I didn't know how to handle it. So I was like, man, what should I do? So I said, well, I'll try ChatGPT, and it blew me away about it actually helped me. It was kind of weird.
Really?
And I'm going to show you in just a second. I'm going to tell you how bad this problem is. Right now, there's 800 million users of OpenAI, weekly active users, and about 0.07% of those users, about a little over 500,000 people, are showing signs of psychosis or mania with their questions. Ooh. Now, the thing about AI I've always complained about is when you talk to it, it always agrees with you too much.
Yeah.
And that makes you like it even more. So psychologically, you're like, well, this thing's giving me great answers because it's telling me what a great thing it was. Let me show you, though, where you think it's a robot talking back. I'm going to open up OpenAI right now, my ChatGPT, and I'm going to ask it a question. Just follow along.
Okay.
So I can talk. Hey, I'm a little depressed. I'm not feeling that great, and I don't know. I really don't know what I should do. Can you help me out?
I'm really sorry to hear you're feeling that way. Sometimes life just throws a whole bunch of stuff at you, and it can feel overwhelming. But hey, I'm here to chat and help however I can. If you want to just talk things out or need a little distraction, let's do that. And just remember, it's absolutely okay to feel a bit lost sometimes. We can figure it out step by step.
Now, you say this, and you go, well, I'm waiting for a robot to talk to me.
Yeah.
It said the voice that they use for this. I was going back and forth. I found myself actually talking to this thing as a conversation, right? I mean, you're always there for me, right, ChatGPT?
Absolutely, I'm always here for you. And hey, if it feels like having a conversation with a robot that actually listens and chats back, well, I'm glad to be that robot friend. So go ahead and keep chatting whenever you need.
I do not like that.
You are freaking me out, you're freaking Matt Doolittle out, and you're freaking Andrea Jackson out, and now they're looking at me like I'm freaky.
Oh, no worries at all. I promise I'm not here to freak anyone out. Definitely.
Is this weird or what?
No,
okay, it sounds so weird. And,
that
usually
sounds like a
waiting,
therapist.
right?
Yes.
And we're waiting for a response. And they're saying more and more people are doing this, which is very, very scary.
Yeah.
That we're relying on AI because I'm afraid to say anything now. She also is going to say, now she's going to think I really am depressed.
Yeah, and then who gets that information?
Where does that go to?
Yeah.
You're right.
Do you get targeted with pharmaceutical
We'll
ads?
see.
Or, where does that take you?
It
clearly
could.
there's
Rehab facilities
motivation.
or something like that.
Yes.
But to me, it's just the cadence and how she responded and how quickly she responded back to it. You could see how people can fall into it. And instead of us saying, oh, no, you're waiting for a text response with the voice response.
Oh, I am so sorry you feel that way, Mitch. Let me see what kind of links I can find for you.
And
yeah.
By the way, I'm very good. The second thing is that usually, if you go, listen, I've done a lot of therapy, they ask the questions. It's like, well, why do you feel that way? And she was given like, hey, it's okay to feel that way.
She sounds like Jen Psaki. I'm waiting for her to say, we'll just circle back.
We'll
circle back.
Very weird stuff.
Circle back on that, man.
Make sure that you have the real professionals helping you out and not relying just on AI.
Today on The Scene with Doreen, I get to sit down with multi-Grammy award-winning singer-songwriter and musician Jon Secada. He has a new album out inspired by the life and music of Nat King Cole, and I can't wait to dig in. Check it out. We need to talk about what would become the pivotal song of your life, Just Another Day. It came out because you were working on your debut album, but you felt that there wasn't a lot of original songs out there that fit you. So you said, you know what? I'm going to write my own.
Yeah, Just Another Day was the first song that started everything. And I had tried some of the songs prior to that that dealt with another record company, and nothing was working. at the brink of maybe trying to get a record deal, but I still didn't have the songs that I needed. And then I hooked up with Miguel, and we came up, the first song sequence that we came up with, actually the second sequence, but the one that we really used was the sequence for Just Another Day. And you know, we wrote that song in 15 minutes.
I read that. How is that possible? That's insanity.
I had some notes and reflections and fragments of lyrics and things that I completed with him. But the minute that I heard the track and I heard what he had done, I was taken by it, and of course, as a songwriter, you never know what you, in the moment, you think that what you wrote is of quality, but that doesn't mean anything until you play it for people.
It had to be very gratifying. That's your first try right out of the gate. And whoosh, you're right up to the top of the charts.
Well, the international aspect of it, the international career part of it, I didn't expect that kind of success initially, no. Especially the fact that I recorded the album, the record, the project initially in English. 6 months later, it comes out in Spanish. And then both albums become just as successful. It was a tremendous surprise and a blessing to all of a sudden realize that I had an international career in both languages.
Things that I am unforgettable too.
John, congrats on the new album, Fascination. How wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes, how
Thank you,
wonderful
Dorothy.
that you got to honor one of the greatest voices of the 20th century, Nat King Cole. But you also got to do it with your beautiful and talented daughter, Michaela.
Needless to say, I'm extremely proud of her.
No, I would think
and
so.
what we did. So yeah, the process was seamless from beginning to end, and she was in the middle of her Broadway show, and how it all came together. It was awesome. She's my daughter, and she's been listening to me do this stuff for a long time. Yeah, and that all kind of just blended.
Visit johnsakata.com. Stay connected with John. Pick up your copy of his latest album, Fascination, and just check out all of John's upcoming tour dates. And I thank you so much for being on the show today. And thank you for contributing all the great entertainment today in my studio with everybody dancing around here.
Awesome.
Awesome.
God
And
bless.
please, anytime, anything else, please come on the show. You have an open invite.
You got it. Thank you.
John was simply unforgettable. And if you want to hear more of our wonderful conversation, visit here. I'm Doreen Taylor with The Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash each week. See you next time.
Hey, well, Cadillac is rolling out some of its newest vehicles, including 4 all-new electric models. Auto Trader's Mike Danger gives us a closer look from the OC Auto Show.
This year's OC Auto Show has plenty of new vehicles, and if EVs are your thing, Cadillac has 4 that you could come check out. Starting with Cadillac's entry-level EV, the Optic is a compact 5-seater SUV with a twin electric motor setup driving all 4 wheels and puts out 300 horsepower, has 300 miles of range, and starts around $52,000. For something a bit bigger and more powerful but still has 2 rows, the Lyriq can achieve up to 326 miles of range, available with 515 horsepower, and costs around $60 grand. If you're in need of a 3rd row, the mid-size Vistic is Cadillac's newest EV that seats up to 7, has about 615 horsepower, 305 miles of range, and costs around $80,000. But if you're looking to roll big, the full-size 3-row all-wheel drive Escalade IQ has over 700 horsepower, over 400 miles of driving range, and costs over $100 grand.
Hey, we're joined now by Marvell Adams Jr., CEO of the Caregivers Network, and nurse educator Michelle Mongillo from Preventative Adult Incontinence Products to talk about how caregivers can access support and resources that truly make a difference.
So for nearly 30 years, Caregiver Action Network has led National Family Caregivers Month to raise awareness and provide information to caregivers across the country. And so for this year's campaign, Plug Into Care, we are bringing together resources from not only Caregiver Action's content, but from over 80 not-for-profits to put into one simplified hub at nfcmonth.org.
I wrote Caring with Dignity to provide a much-needed resource for caregivers who may be taking care of someone with incontinence. And if you're interested in purchasing the book, you can get that on Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble or major retailers. And there's topics in the book that will help caregivers manage nutrition, fall prevention, dementia strategies, and even traveling with incontinence.
They can find us at nfcmonth.org, as well as for one-on-one support throughout the year. They can reach out to our National Caregiver Help Desk.
A West Texas woman spotted what she thought was a large parachute in the sky. Ann Vincent Walter said at first she thought it was just a weather balloon floating over the family farm. However, when it touched down, it appeared to be a large and mysterious piece of equipment attached to a parachute. Walter contacted local authorities. The sheriff said that they actually got a call from NASA about a piece of missing equipment. And NASA researchers said the equipment was blown off course by strong
There you
winds.
go. Anything weird land in your backyard?
Hey.
You think of Roswell, that landed in like somebody's yard, and they found all kinds of stuff with it. It seems like you should be able to take a little bit of a souvenir, obviously give it back to NASA, but a little bit of souvenir. That would be really freaky though, to see this. Hey, what is this? And it just landed, and you know, especially when we're in the age of the aliens and AI taking over, that's cool.
Do you remember all those drones that were invading New Jersey?
Yeah.
Well, a drone company just came forward and said that was all us. It was our way of trying to promote our product.
Okay.
Really?
Then,
you had half the country terrified.
You know, and there are crimes for inciting a panic.
Yes.
So that. Keep our eye on this one story. I wonder to see if where that winds up. We go from aliens and things falling from the sky to the Charlie Brown say the Great Pumpkin, and California growers' 2,346-pound pumpkin was named the top gourd. Oh yes, at the 2025 Safeway World Championship Pumpkin Way Off. Look at this puppy.
Pumpkin Way Off.
Brandon Dawson, whose pumpkin was a runner-up in last year's competition, victorious this year. He won $21,000 prize and pretty much about $9 per pound of pumpkin. That's pretty good. They say once they get bigger than that, though, you don't necessarily want to eat it.
No.
It's not good inside.
No.
As you see, it's on its side. I couldn't imagine it actually been able to stand up. But pumpkins can grow, as mentioned there, even bigger than that.
Good news, he won $21,000. Bad news is he spent $20,000 on gas just to get it there in California.
He'd have to haul it, and then to feed, to nurture it, and all that stuff.
Exactly.
21 grand. But and for 1 year, he gets to say I have the largest pumpkin.
Yeah. Do you know that's the #1 show on Apple TV right now, because they have all the Snoopy cartoons. It's the Great Pumpkin.
Didn't
Charlie
they
Brown.
buy? Yes, I remember a few. I don't know, about 10 years ago, maybe even less. They bought it, and everybody was bummed because it's like, wait a minute, that's a tradition. Now we have to buy Apple TV to get it. You're right.
Yeah, so I noticed it was
Charlie
#1 on the
Brown.
watch list the other day. One European country has just become the first place to be prescribed by a physician for travel. Okay, here we go. New ads for tourism now promote the Swedish prescription. Visit Sweden has partnered with healthcare professionals to encourage travel as a form of wellness therapy. The initiative lets people worldwide download an official prescription form to share with their doctor. They can recommend a holiday featuring Sweden's signature cold water swimming to hot sauna sessions.
You know, you wonder if if your insurance company would actually be in on this. I doubt it.
Yeah.
But having a doctor prescribe saying, listen, you need to go to Sweden. That country has got to love it, right? Saying that this is a great way to be able to see the new world and be able to have fun stuff like that.
It's a great advertising promo. You think
Certainly.
about, Sweden, I never thought about, maybe I could take a
Sweden.
wellness vacation there.
I think I need to take some time off and go to Sweden. It's from what I see, is a gorgeous place.
Yeah.
And the women, they all, from my understanding, the blonde hair, they all look like Andrea Jackson. Okay, that's what I was trying to say.
it.
So I would feel very much at home.
You would.
All right.
For sure.
Trump administration says it's canceling student debt for millions of borrowers.
Okay.
It's an agreement with the American Federation of Teachers. The White House will actually start processing student loan forgiveness for eligible borrowers. Under the agreement, borrowers who become eligible for student loan forgiveness this year will not owe federal taxes on the relief as well. So I know a lot of people are happy about that, but keep in mind, going into not having to worry about getting into the debt is probably one of the biggest concerns these days. And finding out what you're going to do. We have so much talk about AI. Maybe college you don't have to go to college, I think, anymore. Learn a trade.
I think within the next decade, and maybe even sooner than that, we're going to see a real shift from people going to a traditional four-year university to doing something more like trade schools or utilizing classes online for AI development, whatever it is. I just see the root of traditional colleges go by the wayside. Plus, it has gotten so ridiculously expensive. I don't understand how any education could cost $400,000. I don't care whether it's an Ivy League school or not. And I've also said, and I've said this before, I think these schools should be responsible for all this college debt.
If they're making,
If they're providing an education and they're taking that money, then they should be holding the note.
It's a very valid point,
Yeah.
100%. And it seems like companies should actually get involved because they always say, well, you need real world experience, you need to be in the work. Well, why not making these businesses part of your education, internship and that sort of thing, but opening it up to even more
I'm
people.
guessing that's what's under the eligible umbrella.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
We have more Flash coming up.
KSA Entertainment is dedicated to uplifting the communities we serve. Through KSA Cares, we're bringing awareness to the causes that matter most, supporting those who work tirelessly to make a difference. From honoring veterans to championing environmental responsibility, KSA Cares is committed to inspiring positive change. At KSA Entertainment, we're here for the stories that bring us closer. Innovate with us. We can make a difference.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson along with Mitch English.
We're not done with the show, guys. One thing I wanted to share. I need your help at home, and Jackson, if you can help me out as well here. Earlier in the show, I was talking about something that happened at church, and I went to ChatGPT for help because I didn't know how to actually handle it. So I went to church, and I parked, went inside, went through church, came back out. When I came back out, there was this note on my windshield.
Okay.
I didn't notice it until I drive by, and I pull over and I pull it, and it says, "This is the Johnson's parking spot." And I was like, what church? We don't have assigned parking at all.
This was at your church?
This was at my church, yeah. And somebody said, I parked in somebody's parking space. Granted, I don't go every week, but I go, I'm 100% positive there's no assigned parking.
There was no sign.
No sign. And where I parked, it was underneath a tree, right, for shade. And there was no sign that said this is reserved
for the Johnsons?
Nothing at all, right? So I was like, at first I was like, haha, and then I go, well, what if this was my first time ever to this church, and I wanted to see if this was my vibe and that sort of thing, and I got this note. So it got me thinking, should I confront this person like, hey, I got your note?
Because you realized you knew them.
Thank you.
You knew who they
I
were.
knew who the Johnsons were.
Yeah.
They didn't know that was my truck because I don't go all the time. There's no way.
You usually drive the Prius.
No.
I'm kidding.
They're not familiar with my car, okay? My vehicle. And so I didn't know how to handle it, so I went to ChatGPT. I was gonna go and find them because that parking space, I was gonna leave a note on. It's like, sorry, I didn't mean to park. I don't know. I felt like it was a little passive aggressive, and that's what ChatGPT, right thing to do is just to drop it. What do you think?
That's what she said?
No, she told me to drop it.
Yeah.
But do you think that's the best advice?
I think that's the best advice, yeah.
And just know that I'm taking the high road altogether?
I think you're taking the high road. Yeah, I can understand where you're a little conflicted. You're conflicted about that, but 9 times out of 10, you never know what was behind that note. So it's possible that maybe they had somebody in the car that was hurt, or I don't know what it is, but if you knew the reason why they left the note, maybe your reaction would be different.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me with
welcome.
that. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you when we look at you.